friends, Debbie here and welcome to Southern Delight. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. And I'm going to be making a mesh curl wreath. And this is going to be a fall wreath. And the items that you will need for this project are going to be a wreath form. You're going to need 3 rolls of mesh. I am using the 10 by 10 mesh that I you can purchase the 10 by 10 mesh at your local craft store like Hobby Lobby, Michael's. You can also use the Dollar Tree mesh for this if you'd like. It works just as well for this project. I've just found that sometimes when I use the Dollar Tree mesh, it's not quite as full and as fluffy as the 10 by 10, and the quality is a little bit different from this kind of mesh. So you'll also need to get a pumpkin centerpiece, and then I'm also using some flowers, and I've got one here that has a little pumpkin in the center of it. I picked this stem up from Hobby Lobby. You're also going to need some ribbon, and this ribbon I happened to pick up from the Dollar Tree as well. They have their fall out now, and these are really inexpensive. They're 9-foot rolls, and I've got 6 of them for this project. But what I'm going to go ahead to get started on it is, if you look at this wreath form, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got it's split into 6 forms. And what I normally do is I'm going to make 5 bundles per each section. So that's going to be 30 bundles is what I'm going to start pre-cutting. So I'm going to do the 30. I'm going to show you how I do the bundles, because I'm going to start by taking the mesh here. We're going to roll it out, and normally on these projects I'll take, and I've got a cutting mat. I picked this up from one of my local craft stores as well. I think Michael's and Hobby Lobby, both of them sell it. I think Walmart may even have some of these. But on the 10 by 10, it's cut 10 inches here. I'm going to stretch it across here, and I normally like to cut mine. I've got 10 there, and then I go to the 11 mark here. I just take and I score it down. And if you don't have one of these, you can always use scissors, but I'm telling you, these are a blessing when you're having to make these bundles. But you just want to start by cutting those. I'm going to show you how to do one really quick, and then we're going to take a break while I make up 30 of these bundles, because it'll take a little while. These wreaths normally take me about 2 hours to construct, and because they are a little bit more time consuming than the others where you just take the mesh and you just weave it inside and out. I think those are kind of like my quick 15-minute wreaths. These are a little bit more time intense, but it's well worth it. They're absolutely beautiful, they're full, and they last a good while also. So if you're looking for a good quality wreath, you know, this is the ticket here, because you see a lot of times people who are advertising wreaths for sale for about $120 or $65 for a wreath. This is why. They're a little bit more labor intense and a little bit higher quality wreath. And a lot of times, I know I've downloaded a lot of pictures and things on the wreaths that I do. This is the mesh that I use for my wreaths. I don't use the Dollar Tree mesh. I usually tend to use the Dollar Tree mesh when I'm doing things for parties, and you know, maybe something that I need for like a party decor, or something simple and so forth. But usually when people come and they're placing orders with me, and they're wanting something for their front door, or they're wanting something that's going to last about, you know, a couple of seasons, or however, that's when I go and I use the higher quality mesh on it. And get started. I'm going to take, and I chose 3 different colors. I've got like, this is a pine green, a red, and then a gold is what I'm using there. And then I picked out these ribbons from the Dollar Tree, and this is just one that's got autumn all on it and little fall scenes, and then that one's got a little chevron print and all the autumn colors, and then some leaves. And on some of my wreaths I will take this and cut it 10 inches across, but on these I'm going to use this specifically make a bow for the flower arrangement. We're going to do that last. Get these all cut out. They tend to want to go ahead and roll up on their own, which is great. But what I'm going to do is we've got to make 30 bundles, and I like to layer my bundles. If you want a really full wreath, do it in 3s. Now I've made some really beautiful wreaths with just using 2 layers. On this specific one, I want to go ahead and use 3 layers because I want this one to be really full. Because I like to mix it up a little bit. So what we've got here is green, red, and gold. I'm going to take this. Okay, and you want to get them all rolled together like this. Take and twist. Then leave this out, and this is what we're going to be hooking in on the wreath. Just go in and cutting it through. Now I'm on my last roll. See how easy this makes it? And you can get one of these at any of the craft stores as well over in the sewing section. They're a lifesaver. Because my very first wreath that I made, I did not have one of these. So it's very time consuming to have to take the scissors and cut all these little strips out. But this is definitely a lifesaver. Those are all that's my mesh rolls right there. So we're gonna get them rolled up. Okay, well, I'm making progress. I've gotten 10 of these already rolled out. I layered these red, green, yellow, and I used the red pipe cleaner to kind of hide this so it doesn't clash. Got 10 of those going. I'm on my second set of bundles. These are the green, red, and gold, and I've made like 4 of those so far, and then I'm using the green on this one. And then the other set I'm going to use gold, red, and green, and then use the yellow that I have in those pipe cleaners. But we're just going to keep rolling these all up. We're going to keep rolling and keep making them. This, like I said, this is probably the most time-consuming part of this project. I'm going to get ready to start assembling these. Now that I've got all my bundles made, I'm going to start with the green here. We're going to start putting them in the sections. I'm going to rotate it out, and you can start anywhere on the wreath. Just feed it through with the little pipe cleaners like this. Give it a quick twist. Get it on there. Let's push it over, and then just keep going. And we're going to rotate. We got green, red, and I usually take and feed it through the middle section. Let's see if you can see here, like this, that middle section like this. Feed it through there like that, and just twist it on. Twist it tight, and just push it over to the next one. And we're going to take the gold, and we're going to keep going around this wreath form until it's all filled up. And usually in those sections, I like to use 5 bundles per section. That usually gives it the fullness that I'm looking for. That's a red one. And just keep rotating. So. And this one is just a little 14-inch wreath. I picked up the wreath form from Dollar Tree. I think I probably already told y'all that. But also, if you want larger wreaths, you know, of course you'll have to use more of these bundles for those larger ones. I think, oh goodness, I think it's probably about twice as many when you do the larger size wreaths. But these forms, they're really perfect for these projects. Okay, as you said, that's one section there. And just keep rolling with it. We're I mean, and you don't have to necessarily use the color combination that I'm using. A lot of times I get inspired by the ribbons that I see, or either the flowers that I'm going to put on it, and the centerpiece. That's really where the focal point's going to be, is on the center. You know, what color are you using for your focal point? In this case, it's all fall, so that was quite easy. It was white, so we need a lot of color to go with it. Yeah, what do we got? Green, red, time for a gold one. And the colors on these, I use the same color as the top layer of this, but also it helps me keep going, like when I'm grabbing for one and I'm doing a rotation, you know, like red, green, gold, red, green, gold. You know, the pipe cleaners are that color, so that makes it a little bit easier to recognize. That's just one of those little tips there. Okay, we're just going to continue on. It's attached. Take the top piece of mesh and give it a twist on that pipe cleaner. Just twist it around. What this does is it'll just move it kind of to the side, and it'll fill in the center and make it that much fuller. And let's see, what's how she's coming along so far. Which areas, we had a rainstorm come up and the lighting got kind of bad in there in my living room. So, but this is what she looks like so far. We've got them all on there. And if you turn over on the back, this is what the back is looking like. And don't worry, it looks a little messy, but what you can do is just take these and twist them, give them a nice twist together, and it'll just take a few minutes, and connect them all. Let's see, and just keep twisting and tucking them up underneath there. And it does, let me get a couple of them done and I'll show you what it looks like. Because if you don't necessarily like that look, I mean, this is going to be on the back of the wreath, but if you don't like it, you can get some felt and cut it out along the edges of the wreath. Just trace it out, and then you can put some felt on the back of it, and it'll cover all of this ugly pipe cleaners back here and just make it look a little bit more professional. Alright, we're going to set this aside, and then we're going to go ahead and make the bow for it. And I went back and I had some old ribbon tucked away, and you might want to add this to your list if you're wanting to do one exactly like this. But I had this green, and I'm going to do a ribbon. I'm just going to do a real, I'm going to make a bow for it, and I'm going to layer it with two things of this. So I've got my 2 rolls of ribbon here, and usually when I make my bows, I get the wired ribbon, and I have a tutorial showing step by step how I make a bow for a fall wreath. You might want to check that out, but we're going to go ahead and assemble one here too. But I'm going to do this one a little bit quickly. But you just want to start with it, and I take it and fold it back like so, like this, and then just keep going until I've used this ribbon up. And these are 9 foot of ribbon. So I'm going to just keep folding it back and forth like this. Okay. And we're getting to the end here. Once we get down to the end of it, I'll take my pipe cleaner. You can use a pipe cleaner or you can use rubber bands. Either one will work really good. So I've got them all folded like that, and then I'm going to take the pipe cleaner and just take it to the middle of it, scrunch it up here, and then twist it. Okay. I'll just give it a nice twist on there, make sure it's tight. And then just pull your ribbons. I like to do them, rotate them out when you're pulling them, pattern with the solid. And just keep rotating when you're pulling it through. And just pull it aside. And then on that one, you want the green, keep doing like that all the way around. And till it's all nice and fluffy. Let's see, I did that one the wrong way. Okay, now we've got this real pretty fluffy bow here. And I'm going to take the other roll that I had, because I had 2 rolls of each kind. And we're going to use this bottom right here. And we're going to use it, we're going to tie it in the center to kind of have it string down. The string is going down. I had already pre-drilled some holes in this, and I'm just using some floral wire. I took it and doubled it over and took it up and twisted it. So now all I have to do is take and push this down. I'm going to find the center in here and take and we're going to wire it in. So alright, I've got the final one wired in and she is complete. And let me show you the final product. This is what we have here.